Once upon a time, far, far away, in the deep, deep, dark forest, there was a clearing. And in that clearing, there was a stone house. It was blue, grey, and dappled. And working away outside of the stone house was Snowball. Snowball was inventing a flying bubble. A few of our other inventions, Snowball had noticed that bubbles have been used to transport various creatures across vast spaces, and he thought it was quite a good design. Now, he himself didn't need a flying bubble because he could fly, but some of the others did. For instance, Mr. Space Cat didn't. He could use space paint to go wherever he wanted to. Baby Doggy, though, needed one, but Mini Baby Doggy had a flying tail, so he didn't really need one.
But Baby Doggy has the same power as the stone on the house.
He does actually, but he elected not to use it.
Why?
He uses his power sparingly.
Okay.
And it's sometimes nice to use a different system what someone else has made. And so, Baby Doggy.
What about Dustin Bear?
Dustin Bear could go for a short distance when he jetted out of his vacuum. But it was a bit of a messy way to travel. It made a lot of dust everywhere. No one really liked it, including Dustin Bear.
But then why does he like dust?
Well, he likes dust, but he doesn't like making dust everywhere else. He likes dust in him.
And our new character doesn't need a flying bubble because when it grows up, he can do his wings.
Hmm?
Can chickens fly?
A little distance.
Why?
Just a little way.
Why not a long way like a bird?
Well, they're kind of bred not to be able to fly. And so, the bubble was coming along just fine, except every time it got a certain size, which was the size big enough to go in, they popped. So, Snowball decided to learn some chemistry, which explained how you mix liquids together in bulk and make bulk preparations. And sometimes they're quite fine ones, but not really molecular machine ones, as in put this molecule here, this molecule there. But it was enough, and eventually it had a formula to make a hard popping bubble. Do you think you have a hard popping bubble?
No.
You can actually, I've seen them. Not a super hard popping bubble, but a reasonably hard. They last if you touch them. Like you sit on you, a different kind of liquid. Similar, but a bit different.
Can you sit on them?
I don't know. It's a good question.
How big are their bubbles?
They're bubble size.
As big as a normal bubble?
Well, yeah, it's similar. And so, as it was, he perfected his liquid. He even managed to put a bubble door in it. But he didn't really need a door. He sort of walked through the side of the bubble and absorbed onto you. And then you walk through the other side, kind of like a membrane. You know what a membrane is?
No.
Kind of like that. It's kind of like a fluid, kind of viscous fluid, but kind of a little bit sticky, like a bubble, and you walk through it and it seals up behind you. So you could walk through in any part, so like a door from any direction. That's pretty cool, hey?
Yeah.
As it was, they made it all together, and they figured out how to do
But
it.
how did they make the bubble stay in the ground?
It stayed on the ground because he built it in a shed, and there's no wind. Of course, if you open the shed door, the wind would probably blow it out. He made a bubble chain that came off it. That is, a bundle of bubbles attached to the big bubble that came off, and he held it in his hand. And he tied that to a bubble post, which was a special post made of very hard bubbles that sat in the ground and never popped.
How do they make it go?
Well, that's another good question. By rotating the main bubble in a certain way, it would unhook with the end of the bubble chain. But the hard thing was putting an engine in it. How can they put an engine in it? How about that?
be too heavy.
That's a good point. So first of all, they got little chick, and then little chick run inside with special padded feet so it wouldn't pop the bubble with his little claws. Because chicks have little sharp things on the end like fingernails, claws. Little chick ran and ran and ran, and sure enough, the bubble span and span and span, and it made enough wind friction on the outside, and it was very smooth, and bubbles normally probably wouldn't do this, and it flew up, only straight up. Now they need a directional system.
And I can't get it because there's already on up there.
Well, what happened is, little chick found if you ran that way, the bubble would go that way. If you ran the other way, the bubble would go the other way. If you ran it slower, it would go down. So little chick became the motor of the bubble craft. And tomorrow we'll find out where they go.